Good morning, I'm Rocky Gilbert, giving you an update on the Swan Lake and Caribou Lake fires. Today we're looking at consolidating some supervision down here in the Ski Lac Recreation Area. We'll still have the same amount of crews, but a couple of our division supervisors, or a division supervisor and his trainee are timing out. They've been here for their 21 days, and so we'll have a single supervisor take over both Charlie and Echo as far as all of this piece of ground. But same amount of resources will be out there, just some different supervision as things wind down. We've had another good day. Did a lot of work yesterday on trying to continue to work to eventually be able to get the road open into Lower Ski Lac. A lot of saw work along the roads, trying to get rid of any hazard trees and anything that's still smoking along that roadway. And so we're going to continue to work towards that effort. That's kind of their prime mission now, is to be able to eventually get that road system opened up on the west side. Still quite a bit of work, but we're hoping that that'll happen soon. Down here in the interior, we hiked the crew up into the engineer cabin where they were working on the trail, also clearing out snags and doing mop-up where fire had come close to the engineer cabin itself. So we had a module in there of about 5 people doing that work yesterday, and that was they were having good luck in there. On this dozer line that goes from Ski Lac down to the Kenai River, they've mopped that up enough that they'll just put it in patrol status, which just basically means somebody needs to either fly over it a couple times a day or somebody walk the line, but their mop-up standards have been met, and so that piece of ground right in here is in good shape. We also boated another module of folks back over to the Derosion Bay cabin. They were going in to make sure all of the structure protection work that they've done was ready to go. And with the winds today, we'll probably have to start sprinklers up and move those folks out before the winds make it so they can't boat across the lake. So things are looking good. They've got a really good system in place in there, and the cabin should remain intact through this little bit of wind that we've got coming through today. Up here on the fire where it's coming down along the Fuller Lake Trail, we continue to move sprinklers around in there. We're doing a lot to try to keep fire from moving down along the road. They've actually done a lot of mop-up, and we're thinking that that's not going to be an issue, but we'll continue to have the sprinklers and the hoses in there spraying water, making sure that trailhead is going to remain secure. And then moving on into Division Kilo, which is again the folks that are boating across the river. They've got a hose along all of this from the Surprise Creek all the way back down to the river. They've got about 30 feet of mop-up completed. So from the fire line that they've put in to where the hoses have been working, they're filling that's in a really secure up to about 30 feet. And then they're trying to open up some of the trail from the actual Surprise Creek trail so that they have better ingress and egress out of that fire area. But things are going really good in that piece of country as well. And they'll be looking to get rid of any excess hose and stuff in there to try to start getting some of that back to supply, but keeping the main hose lay operational and in place. Moving up further into Division Lima, up the Resurrection Trail, on this east side where fire was going up into, or it looked like it was going to go up into Shaft Creek drainage, they've put direct hand line all along it until they tied into what we call cold black, where the fire is no longer burning. Again, they're putting in hose lays to follow that up. They were long lining hose into there yesterday afternoon still, and we're going to set that up and be utilizing that to start mopping up this ground on the east side of the Resurrection Trail. They are also looking at any opportunities to get some line on this piece of ground to the west. They utilized buckets most of the afternoon yesterday from about 1:30 on to, again, put a lot of water on both those sides of the fire up in there, and things were looking really good near the end of the shift. Down here in Cooper Landing, if folks were in there yesterday, we actually did a drill where we had the structure protection folks do a scenario. They went in and started the pumps and sprinklers that they had going and kind of evaluated how all the systems worked through some scenarios like simulated spot fires and how folks would react and how we would move people around and just communicate if fire was to come into the community. And that was a really good success. Practice makes perfect, and so they felt good about how that was. And then we also learned some lessons on some things that we could do to improve the processes in there. But overall, again, feeling pretty good. We're losing a few crews due to their being here for their 21 days over the next couple of days, and we've also got some crews coming back in to help fill in behind them. And that's the update on your Swan Lake Fire. Moving over to the Caribou Fire. Again, we took a couple crews out of there yesterday. So what remains in there is one 20-person crew and the smoke jumpers that originally initially attacked it. Those smoke jumpers will be coming out this afternoon. Again, they've hit their 21 days, and they'll be coming out, and they have a new division supervisor, and then that'll take over, plus the 20-person crew that's in there should remain through the weekend, and then that fire should be in patrol status. So we're going to do one more UAS mission, so the unmanned drone with an infrared camera on it to really take a good look at its perimeter to make sure that it's in a good spot before we end up putting it into that patrol status in a couple days. And that's your update.
Thanks, Rocky.